Hello, YouTube. So, this is more of a rant than anything else. I'm kind of just, chilling and being annoyed as hell. So, this is a subject that could very potentially end up being a controversial thing, but I'm going to take my risks with it anyways, because hey, I should be allowed to have an opinion or whatever. And I mostly kind of got some backlash on Facebook over it. So, here's basically the story. So, here's the thing. Here's some background to kind of help explain things. For one, I am legally blind, okay? So I know what I'm talking about. Two, I am transgender, so I also know what I'm talking about. And I just really, okay. So anyone who's watched my videos knows I get annoyed. I try not to be, but it happens, and I'm trying not to get annoyed, but it's so hard with these people. So I've noticed a lot with the LGBT community that there's a lot of liberal and left-leaning people who I have noticed have a tendency to find everything racist and everything misogynistic and everything homophobic and everything's transphobic and all that fun gist. But rarely do you ever hear people actually talk about, disabilities and stuff, like physical disabilities. Hell, you even, specifically in that community, you even hear about mental health stuff and all that stuff, and I'm not even going to touch that because it's that's really complicated to explain because people do need help with those things, and I do not want to even make it sound like they're basically mental health is not on the same level as what I'm about to put LGBT, feminism, and basically people who think everything's racist. So here's the thing is, so here's my thoughts, and please take my words with a grain of salt because I don't feel like being even more pissed. Because people take this the wrong way or something, like people already have. So, with the racism card, it's okay, I want to put out a bottom line kind of baseline of things is everybody, every minority, every group of people has people who are going to hate on them and attack them. If you're black in a white neighborhood, you might get beat up. If you're white in a black neighborhood, you're gonna get beat up. If you're freaking LGBT, you got that threat on you. If you're Republican, you've got that threat on you. If you are Christian, you've got that threat on you. If you are any religious person, you've got that threat on you of being attacked. Everybody has it. Anybody who is different and is anything except a human, which everybody to some extent is. And so yeah. So just to make that clear, I'm not ignoring that, but it's just because everybody has that issue, there's really no reason for me to compare it. So here's the thing is, okay, it annoys me to all living hell that disabilities is so underrepresented in the LGBT community out of the simple And like really just out of all the minorities and SJWs throwing big fits over shit, and all these politicians throwing fits over shit, and the media throwing fits, and all this fun gist. So, like, here's the thing. Everyone can do, okay, blacks can do anything a white person can do. And women can do anything a man can do. Sometimes I would even suggest that they can even get away with more. Anyhow, that's not the point of this though. The point is that, like, you know, gays can do anything that freaking, you know, straight people can do, and trans people can do anything a cisgendered person does. Now, while yes, there is social stigma and there is discrimination, you know, they can still do exactly what the other person can. However, with being disabled, specifically physically disabled, and in my case, where I know this the most of is blindness. So the thing is, you know, I can't do, for me, for instance, I cannot do what a sighted person can do. I cannot drive. I cannot pick up a random book and just randomly out of nowhere start reading it unless I have, like, specific devices there for me, which, you know, I do use those to whatever advantage. And, you know, I can't read menus that are way up high. And if for people, and I know a lot of other blind people, specifically completely blind, who, okay, so in some places sidewalks are the worst. They are just terrible. And especially here in freaking Oklahoma, there's sometimes not sidewalks. And even in the decent places like the OU campus, there are still sidewalks that could potentially, you know, lead people off into the road that they're not even trying to cross. Like, if I got even more blind than I already am, then, because I could very likely end up losing more of my sight, I might not be able to get from point A to point B without accidentally ending up in the road or something, or because these sidewalks are so bad that I could end up, like, injuring myself because I walk into something that I didn't see was there. Especially because Oklahoma is, like, construction everywhere, and they don't know how to finish up construction. But, and so my point is that, you know, these left-leaning people are going on and on and on about, you know, how discriminated they are against because they're female, or because they're trans or gay or black or something. I don't even know. And don't get me wrong, yes, there's sexist people out there, there are racist people out there, but, you know, that doesn't mean every single person is, like, racist or sexist or whatever. And so the thing is that, you know, yeah, I mean, there are places that kind of are a little discriminating, but you can still go into places and you can still work. You can still get a freaking job. This is extremely intense. I'm just like, but like, and yeah, you might be a little nervous, but anyone of any group are going to be nervous because people are assholes. Like, so, I mean, sure, you might be nervous someone's gonna attack you, but, like, at least you can physically go from one point to another, whereas people who are blind, you know, they can't be that independent. They have to rely on, like, other people. And, I'm basically only saying this specifically for the US because I'm sure there are other countries that LGBT people are worse off than disabled people or something, because I know America isn't the worst, but it's not the greatest either. But anyhow, so I am just, comparison being within the United States, just anyone internationally watching this. And basically is just kind of this thing of like, because the state and our society, doesn't really think about it, stuff's not accessible. Things need to be more brailled so that, we can actually navigate places, and like sidewalks need to be either made or fixed. Like, please make more sidewalks, but please also fix some of the ones you already have. And, we have to rely so much on other people. And, that's kind of where my rant has begun at, is just, hey, you guys can do the same gist as your opposite, basically. Whereas for someone who's disabled, like me, I cannot. And so I posted this rant on Facebook about it because it's the internet, and I know I should expect drama with the internet because it's the internet, but yeah, or I should keep my opinions off Facebook or whatever, but that's often been my outlet. I'm not gonna lie, I use Facebook a lot as more of a diary than anything else. Diary and keep up with friends, like that's basically, and memes, because memes, right? Anyhow. So, one of my longtime friends, well, not that long time, but it's been a couple years, almost 2 years, I think, yeah, something like that. Anyhow, he decides to just kind of get pissy because he completely disagreed with me. And, he was like, you need a reality check if you think, blind people are any worse off than LGBT people, and like, if I don't think LGBT people have rights. Here's the thing with that logic is, no, you do have rights. Yes, there's discrimination, but you have your rights. You can get married, you can be who you are without like legal things coming into play. So you have your rights, and I'm not even really, in my rant, I'm not even really referring to the rights of LGBT. Yeah. But on the other hand, I am definitely being critical of some of the stuff they complain about, because, if you're in the LGBT community, you probably know some of the really trivial things that people go on about. And maybe even less trivial, but not really rights kind of things. Like, for instance, pronouns. Yes, you should use the person's correct pronouns. And if you don't, no, it's not discrimination. It's just that person's kind of an ass or whatever. Unless they actually give some logic behind it or whatever. I don't even know. Anyhow, so and basically he's just telling me not to even compare blind people to LGBT, but I am trans. I am blind. I know what I'm talking about, and honestly, I can do just anything else that a cisgendered person can do. But I cannot do what a sighted person can do. Plain and simple. And I hate playing Oppression Olympics. I hate what I like to call the pity train. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, occasionally I get on there, jump on the pity train for its snacks, and get right back off. Kind of like right now, I'm going to be honest, I kind of feel like I'm on the pity train right now with this, and I hate it, but something has to be said, and I guess I'm going to have to be the one to say it. And my theory is probably he doesn't think being blind is as bad, because I'm actually a strong person and I brush it off. I laugh at being blind, basically, because this and me getting upset over it all the time is not gonna make me happier. And it's definitely not gonna help me be any less blind. If it does, that'd be pretty cool. I'll bitch about it all the time. So yeah. I'm just like, and you know, he's going on just about that trying to basically be like, I'm wrong, and that, that I shouldn't be comparing the two. But the thing is it's like, and so what he said was, trans people lose their jobs, and like gay people lose their jobs because they're gay or whatever, and cis people and straight people don't. I mean, to be perfectly honest, it's all about who's your boss. Like, if you have a very I'm not even gonna get into that. Anyone who watches this should have some common logic within their brains, so hopefully you get what I'm saying. But the thing is it's like, yes, but you can still work the freaking job. You can still go find a job. Because, you can't change people. However, with someone with a freaking disability, like physical disability, they are limited to what they can do. They cannot do what the abled people can. It's just plain and simple. And oh boy, this pissed me off so bad. Like, I went for a walk, and I'm still outside at like 4 something in the morning, because that's how pissed off I am over this. Then I feel like I shouldn't be, but maybe I should. I don't know. Like I said, I hate making a big deal out of this sort of thing, but I feel like it needs to be said. And it's just like, you can still do what any other cisgender person can do. Hell, you can even like fight for your freaking right to, within reason, you can fight for your right to, keep a job or whatever. Like, you can still do what the cisgender person can do, or the straight person can. However, with being disabled, as I've said plenty of times already in this video, there's a lot you can't do, and I hate admitting it. I really do, because I'm a person who is like, I can do anything, and like, you can't stop me. Like, I'll go do this, I'll go do that. But I'm one of those very stubborn, independent, you could very easily compare me to Toph from Avatar: The Last Airbender kind of person. And hell, I even have black hair. No, love that TV show. And of course, for some information, I am legally blind. I'm not completely blind. If you want to ask questions, feel free. It's just, as stubborn as I can be, I know good and well that there are things I simply can't do. And, like, I know that, hell, blind people aren't very well represented. And I've heard from other people who have been in driver's ed that, it's not a very well touched on thing in the driver's ed thing. Like, it's a short little thing in the manual or something, and I guess it's just up to the driver instructor or whatever to actually hit on it. Of course, one of my friends did say their instructor did hit pretty hard on it, so there's hope. But the point is like, a lot of people are ignorant. They don't know what a white cane is, okay? And then, of course, people who do, they treat you like you're mentally handicapped. And it's like, not only do we have the physical stuff going on, but we do have the social stuff. With my eyes, especially when I was a kid, other kids would kind of just back away slowly, and that kind of thing hurts. I mean, it kind of makes you wonder what's wrong with you. And it hurts. It really does. I love making jokes. I make really bad jokes about blindness. I really do. And in a way, that's my way of coping. But, and because I want to be strong, because I don't want to make my oppression my entire life and everything I am. So, yeah, I mean, maybe I don't come off as being that, my shit is terrible, but it really is. And I mean, I have other things outside of being blind. But the thing is sometimes it just fucking sucks. And I don't mean to belittle anybody by saying this, but the thing is I can't do a lot of things, and and I don't ever really expect to ever be able to do certain things. And when you have that, your shit is a little worse than someone being misgendered every now and then, or all the time. I don't even know. It's a little worse than someone calling you a faggot, because not only are there physical limitations, but there are social stigmas. People avoid you like the plague sometimes, and it sucks, and it just really hurts. Anyhow, I'm not going to get too emotionally into it, because I just don't want to, because that's who I am. I guess. I don't know. But I feel like this rant needed to be said, and I'm probably gonna get hate, because everyone's probably gonna be like, oh my gosh, you're homophobic, you're transphobic, you're sexist, you're racist, you're everything. It's okay, I'm well aware I'm everything everyone hates. It's fine. But it's just, my main point is, we need to put aside some of the trivial stuff that, all these people crying minority and crying discrimination, it's like, hello, I am over here, I need help, we need sidewalks that aren't gonna put us in danger, please. There's a lot of things people with disabilities need a lot more of, that they're just not getting the attention they really need. Whereas, all these other minorities are, you hear it all over the media, people saying how oppressed they are, and it's like, and us people with disabilities, which is kind of sitting over here like, don't want to get into this because we have a brain. It's 4:00. I'm probably being an asshole and dork. I'm being an asshole and a dork at the same time, because it's late. But I'm just like, we need more representation. We really do. And, you know, those other minorities want to act like, oh, they're taken care of or something. I don't even know what's running through their minds, to be honest. But it's because we're quiet, because we don't cry discrimination. And, you know, maybe it's a good thing, because at least when we cry ableist, it won't have lost its meaning, like transphobic, homophobic, racist, sexist, misogynistic, whatever. Like, it won't lose its meaning, basically. But it's like, can we please just, like, you don't have to make a lot of room. You can keep your big hooplas or whatever. Just maybe move some of those trivial things like microaggressions out of the way, and maybe start focusing on, you know, making this world accessible for disabled people. That's my main point. You know, this is this is like, damn, this is a long video. This whole ranty video just to make the point of, hey, make some damn room for us disabled people, because you guys don't have it as bad. Now, you know, everyone has their own individual experiences, but I'm kind of referring to people as a whole. Of course, you know, I promise, I believe other people have it worse than me, I promise, but the thing is on a general group basis, you know, it would be nice if shit was accessible. So, please, just to hear me out on this, and at least do me a favor and make life a little better for people with physical disabilities. And, you know, stop focusing so much on these stupid, trivial things. And if you want me to, I'll go into more detail on the specific trivial things I am talking about, but I don't feel like making this video longer. So please, just, I hope I made my point clear. If I didn't, have a civil conversation with me. That's all. Thank you. Bye, YouTube.